There are 5 science-based facts that you need to know if you're over 50 and you're trying to build muscle in the gym. And in today's video, I'm going to reveal what those facts are and how you can use them to your advantage. My name is Harlow and I'm the Over-Fifties specialist physio here at HT Physio in Farnham. And it's my job to help active over 50s to preserve their muscle mass and even increase it no matter their age. The first fact you need to know is that it absolutely is still possible for you to gain muscle over the age of 50. In a recent study, researchers took a group of 70-year-old people. They put them through 10 weeks of resistance training. They were doing 3 sets of 10, 7 or 8 exercises each session, just 3 times per week. And they found at the end of the 10 weeks, these people had gained an average of 1 kilo of muscle and lost an average of 0.5 kilo of fat. So they gained muscle and lost fat at the same time in just 10 weeks. Now that is enough to see a noticeable difference in your muscle size and definition. So imagine if these people stuck to it for the rest of the year. They'd have incredible results, and all of these people were over the age of 70. So it absolutely can be done. Don't believe it can't be, and especially if you're just getting started, you're going to see great results if you stick with it. Now, you might have heard that old people and young people don't respond to resistance training in the same way. And actually, this has been debunked recently. A research study showed that people who are over the age of 70 had pretty much the same muscle protein synthesis after resistance training as people who are in their 20s and 30s. So the body responds pretty similarly. Yes, it is easier to gain muscle when you're younger, partly because your hormone levels are closer to the optimum, but it is still possible for anyone over the age of 50. In fact, I have a patient, a man in his 70s, who came to me and he said, I'd like to put on a little bit of muscle. We put him through 6 months of resistance training. He did this on his own. It wasn't me teaching him. He went off and used the program that I designed for him, and he added 4 pounds of muscle in his first 6 months of training. That's enough to make a serious noticeable difference on your frame. The second thing you should know is that it probably takes less work than you might think. In a recent review paper in the journal Circulation, researchers concluded that older people can reverse the process of sarcopenia with as little as 1 resistance training session every week. Now, that's especially the case if you've never done this before. If this is the first time you're getting into resistance training as an older person, you're in for a great pleasant surprise over the first 6 to 12 months. What happens when people first get into the gym is it's such a surprise for the body that it just lays down a load of new muscle and probably burns fat at the same time. So you're going to see your best progress when you get started. It's like the complete opposite of just about everything else in life, where you have to be at it for ages before you see great progress. With the gym, it's the opposite. The longer you stay in it, the harder it is to make progress. But if you're just getting started, you're going to see great changes really fast. My recommendation for most people just getting started in the gym would be to do either 2 or 3 sessions per week. And those sessions should be somewhere between 20 and 40 minutes long when you're getting started. If you feel that that's not enough, you can increase it. If you feel that it's challenging, you can keep it the same. And if it's too much, you can always drop it down to 2 lots of 20 minutes or even 1 session, and you're still going to see great results. Before we go any further, I just want to tell you about a very special bonus I've created for viewers of this channel. It's called the Complete Guides to Building Muscle and Strength over the age of 50. And if you're someone who is a little bit confused about how to go about starting the process of building muscle and strength, you don't know what equipment to use or what exercises to choose, this is perfect for you. It's an exclusive 25-minute video that you can't find anywhere else, where I teach you all the ins and outs of building muscle and strength specific for people over the age of 50. So it's one of the best things I've created. I'm giving it totally for free to viewers of this channel. All you need to do is scroll down below this video. There's a link in the description where you can sign up. I'll send you the video straight away and you can get started. It's some of my best info, and if you use it, I hope you enjoy. The third fact is that you might be better off with higher reps and lower weight. Now, when we do a resistance training workout, we break up our workout into repetitions and sets. A repetition is just one repeat of any given exercise, and a set is a combination of repetitions all done in one go, ideally before you put the weight down. So if I did 10 squats, that would be 10 reps. And if I rested, did that 3 times over, that would be 3 sets of 10 reps. Now, as we do more repetitions, we have to drop the weight, because the heavier the weight, the less reps you can do. So I can only do 6 reps of a big load on deadlifts, but if I drop the weight right down, I might be able to do 30 reps, and the sets would still feel equally as challenging, but I'm obviously doing more reps on the second one because there's less weight on the bar. Now, why do I think that lighter weights and more reps are better for people over 50? Well, there's a couple of reasons. The first reason is that light weights and more reps, as long as the set is very challenging, builds about an equal amount of muscle mass as heavy weights with less reps. As long as you control for how many sets you do, and as long as those sets feel about as difficult as each other, you're still going to build roughly the same amount of muscle, even with the very light weights. So that's reason number one. There's no need to lift heavy weights if your goal is to build muscle mass. The second reason is that even though heavy weights aren't dangerous, of course, they are slightly more risky, especially if your technique is not perfect. There's just less margin for error. So you're absolutely safe to lift heavy weights, but you have to make sure your technique is spot on right the way throughout. And for most of the people in my audience, they're just getting started with resistance training, so there's less margin for error. And if they make a mistake with a heavy weight, the injury that results could be far worse than someone who makes a mistake with a light weight. So I just think with a slightly increased risk of injury with heavy weights and not that much more in terms of benefit, I reckon most people are better off going for light weights. So what's a lightweight? Well, I would say anything that you can lift for more than 10 repetitions, I would classify as a moderate to lightweight, okay? So anywhere between 10 repetitions and 30 repetitions is a great set for most people over 50 who are trying to put on some muscle mass. If you can lift a weight and you get to 12 and you just can't do any more, you put it down, that's a killer set. Well done, you've done great. But if you can only lift the weight 6 times, you will gain muscle, but just understand that the risk is just ever so slightly higher with maybe not that much benefit in return. However, if you go all the way up to using a lightweight that you can lift for 30 repetitions, yes, that's still going to gain muscle. It does take longer, and to be honest, it's quite a painful way to do it. So I would prioritize somewhere between 10 and 20. But if you want to go right up to 30, that still really works. The fourth thing you need to know if you're trying to build muscle over 50 is that even if you don't build a ton of physical muscle, your quality of life is going to improve massively. Resistance training doesn't just improve the way you look. It improves the way you feel and the way your body responds to just about anything. It can improve the health of your heart, your lungs, it can improve your circulation, it improves your mood, your libido, your strength, your mobility, your independence. The list goes on and on and on. It quite literally is the closest thing we've got to a magic pill that fixes many common health problems. Your insulin sensitivity will improve, the way your body processes and uses oxygen and clears carbon dioxide will improve, the way you can open doors and close your car boot and climb stairs, all of that stuff is going to get better with as little as 1 to 3 sessions of resistance training each week. So don't just think this is just about how you look. Muscle mass has an independent protective quality over your health to everything else. So the more muscle you can build, the better. But even if you don't notice huge changes in your appearance, your health is going to get so much better too. The fifth and final thing you need to know before you start trying to build muscle over 50 is that it's never too late. You might be watching this and thinking, well, Will, this is fine for people in their 50s and 60s, but I'm 70 or I'm 80, I'm 85 or even older. Surely it's too late for me to start. I've never done this before. I don't really know what I'm doing. Is it worth it? And the answer unanimously is yes, it's definitely worth it, and you're going to notice huge results. To prove this point, in a recent study by the International Journal of Sports Nutrition, researchers compared the effects of resistance training on 2 different groups of people. The first group were people aged 65 to 75, and the second group were people over the age of 85. We know that resistance training works for this younger group, but they wanted to see if it had the same effect on the much older population. Well, they did 12 weeks of resistance training. They took measures of strength, of muscle mass, of muscle size, and guess what they found? They found that both groups improved, which is great, and there was no difference at all between the two groups. The people who were over 85 gained just as much muscle, gained just as much strength, and gained just as much size as the people who were between 65 and 75. So it is never too late to start. And especially if you're just getting started, you're going to see incredible results, especially in that first 12-week period. The body doesn't know what to do with all of this stimulus, so it just puts down a load of muscle. You'll also gain some bone mass as well, and probably lose fat at the same time. What's not to love? So if you're delaying, get started, because you're going to get some great results. So those are the 5 facts that you need to know if you're trying to build muscle over age 50. I hope you found this video useful. If you have, then do drop a comment below and just let us know what you thought of it, because we do read them all and it helps us to improve our channel. So thank you if you take the time. Make sure you've liked this video and subscribed to the channel as well, because it helps us to reach more people. And consider sharing it with a friend or a family member who's also over 50 and maybe also in the gym trying to build muscle. If you've got someone in your life like that, then share it with them if you found this video helpful, because hopefully it will help them too. And if you want to get more from me, the best way you can do that is to pick up a copy of my brand new book, Thriving Beyond 50, the 2024 edition. It's got all of my best exercises, strategies, bits of advice, all the things that I tell my patients in the clinic has gone into this book. It's 450 pages long. It's a really long, robust, solid book. I think you're going to absolutely love it if you've got interest in health and fitness over 50. And if you want to get your copy, you can go below this video and find the link which takes you to Amazon, and you can order a copy there. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate your time, and I'll speak to you again on the next video.